stop right there if you're thinking about taking that free travel insurance your credit card company is offering, because what I'm about to show you could save you from a complete financial disaster on your next trip. Look, I get it. You're planning your dream vacation, maybe to Europe, maybe a cruise, and someone tells you, hey, you've got free travel insurance included. Sounds perfect, right? You think you're covered, you think you're protected, and you move on with booking your flights and hotels. But here's the thing nobody talks about. That free insurance, it's about as useful as a chocolate teapot when something actually goes wrong. And I'm not just talking about minor inconveniences here. I'm talking about situations where you could end up paying tens of thousands of dollars out of your own pocket, even though you thought you were insured. Today, I'm going to break down exactly what these free senior travel insurance policies are hiding from you, the specific situations where they completely fail, and most importantly, how to actually protect yourself when you travel. So let's start with the biggest lie in travel insurance, the word free. Nothing is ever really free, right? We all know this. But when it comes to travel insurance, companies have gotten really good at making you think you're getting something valuable when you're actually getting almost nothing. Here's how it works. Your credit card company, your airline loyalty program, or even your booking website tells you that travel insurance is included. They make it sound like this amazing benefit. They might even send you a fancy certificate or policy document that's like 50 pages long. And because it looks official, because it's there in writing, you assume you're covered. But the reality is completely different. These policies are designed with one goal in mind, and it's not to protect you. It's to check a box. It's so the company can say, yes, we provide insurance, without actually providing meaningful protection. It's marketing, not insurance. And the worst part? Most people don't find out the truth until it's too late. Until they're in a hospital in Thailand or stuck in an airport in Spain calling the insurance company only to hear, I'm sorry, but that's not covered under your policy. The pre-existing condition trap. Let me tell you about the most dangerous gaps in these free policies, starting with pre-existing conditions. This is the big one that catches almost everyone. If you're over 60, chances are you've got at least one ongoing health condition. Maybe you take blood pressure medication. Maybe you have diabetes that's well controlled. Guess what? Your free insurance probably won't cover anything related to those conditions. And I don't just mean they won't cover a flare-up. I mean if you have a completely unrelated medical emergency, they can deny your claim if they can tie it back to a pre-existing condition in any way. A 72-year-old woman went on a river cruise in Europe. She had high blood pressure, well controlled with medication. During the trip, she slipped and broke her hip, completely unrelated to her blood pressure, right? Wrong. According to her free insurance, the fall could have been caused by dizziness from her medication. They denied the entire claim. She paid over $40,000 out of pocket. Here's the sneaky part. These policies don't clearly define what counts as a pre-existing condition. Some say anything you've seen a doctor for in the past 12 months. Some say anything you've ever been diagnosed with, period. Your action plan. Read the pre-existing condition exclusions word for word. Look for policies that waive pre-existing conditions if purchased within 14 days of booking. Get coverage details in writing before you travel. Insider move. Real policies clearly state which conditions are covered. If the language is vague, they want wiggle room to deny your claim. But pre-existing conditions are just the beginning. The activity exclusions are where things get even more deceptive. The activity exclusions nobody reads. Most free policies have lists of excluded activities, and they're not just talking about skydiving or bungee jumping. They include things you'd never think twice about. Snorkeling, often excluded. Riding a scooter or moped, excluded. Hiking on anything that's not a marked trail, excluded. Even riding a bike in some policies. A couple in their 60s went to Hawaii and rented bikes to ride around the island. The husband hit a pothole, crashed, and needed shoulder surgery. Their free insurance denied the claim because riding a bicycle was listed as an excluded activity in the fine print. They never thought to check. Why would they? It's a bicycle, not a motorcycle. Your action plan: read the entire list of excluded activities. If planning specific activities, get written confirmation they're covered. Don't assume normal tourist activities are automatically covered. The magic phrase: I need written confirmation that specific activity is covered under this policy. And speaking of coverage, that sounds good but falls apart when you need it. The medical coverage limits. Here's another nightmare scenario. Your policy might cover medical emergencies, but the coverage limits are so low that they're basically worthless. A lot of these free policies cap medical coverage at $25,000 or $50,000. That sounds like a lot, right? Except medical care outside your home country is expensive. Really expensive. If you have a heart attack in London and need emergency surgery, you could easily rack up $100,000 or more. If you need to be medically evacuated back home, that alone can cost $50,000 to over $100,000. So your free insurance covers $50,000. You're on the hook for the rest. I know someone who had a stroke while on a cruise. The emergency treatment and medical evacuation cost nearly $200,000. His free cruise line insurance covered $30,000. He had to figure out how to pay the remaining $170,000. Your action plan: never accept medical coverage under $250,000. Verify that medical evacuation is covered separately with high limits. Check if evacuation means nearest adequate facility or back to your home country. Pro tip: many hospitals abroad require payment guarantees before providing treatment. If your coverage limits are too low, they may refuse care. Now, if you're finding this helpful, hit that subscribe button, because what comes next is even more shocking. The repatriation problem. Let me explain something almost nobody knows about until it's too late. Repatriation. If something really serious happens to you abroad, many of these free policies will only cover the cost of getting you to the nearest adequate medical facility, not back home, just to somewhere that can treat you. So if you're in rural Thailand and you have a medical emergency, they might fly you to Bangkok. That's it. Getting from Bangkok back home? That's on you. An elderly man had a serious infection while traveling in South America. He needed to get back to his specialists in the US, but the insurance said he wasn't stable enough to fly. He spent 6 weeks in a hospital there, with his family flying down to be with him, paying for everything out of pocket. The total cost? Over $300,000. Your action plan. Verify that repatriation means transport to your home country, not just the nearest hospital. Check who determines if repatriation is medically necessary. Look for policies that cover repatriation regardless of medical stability. Insider move. Ask, does this policy cover direct repatriation to my home country regardless of medical stability? Get it in writing. But it's not just medical emergencies where these policies fail you. Trip cancellation and baggage coverage. Most policies offer trip cancellation coverage, but the covered reasons are incredibly narrow. Usually it's something like, covered if you or an immediate family member dies or is hospitalized. That's it. Your mom gets sick but isn't hospitalized? Not covered. Natural disaster but no official evacuation order? Not covered. Connecting flight canceled and you miss your cruise? Not covered. And even when something is covered, the reimbursement is often capped ridiculously low. Maybe $1,000 when your trip cost $8,000. A woman had to cancel a 3-week trip to Australia because her husband was diagnosed with cancer 2 weeks before departure. Her insurance denied it because he'd had suspicious test results 3 months earlier. She lost $12,000. Now for baggage coverage. Most free policies offer $500 total for everything you're traveling with, plus per item limits of about $50. Your bag gets lost with your laptop and camera? The laptop is worth $1,000, the camera $800, but your insurance gives you $50 for the laptop, $50 for the camera. One couple had luggage stolen in Italy. They lost about $5,000 worth of belongings. Their free insurance paid $375. It took 6 months to get that. Your action plan. Look for cancel for any reason coverage options. Never pack valuables in checked luggage. Keep receipts for all expensive items. Take photos of items with receipts before traveling. Rule of thumb: if a policy doesn't offer cancel for any reason as an upgrade, it's probably not legitimate. The real-world impact. Let me paint you a picture of what actually happens when these policies fail. Imagine you're in a foreign country. You don't speak the language fluently. You're in a hospital bed. You're scared. You're in pain. And you're trying to call your insurance company back home. You spend hours on hold. When you finally get through, they tell you to submit forms, get documentation, get itemized bills. But the hospital needs payment now. So you're putting tens of thousands of dollars on your credit card. Or you're calling family begging them to wire you money. Or worse, you're not getting the treatment you need because you can't afford it. This is the reality that thousands of senior travelers face every year. Some people end up depleting their entire retirement savings because of one medical emergency while traveling. Some end up in massive debt, all because they trusted that free insurance was actually going to protect them. How to identify real coverage. So, what should you look for in actual, legitimate travel insurance? First, pre-existing condition coverage that waives exclusions if you buy within 14 days of your first trip deposit. Second, at least $250,000 in emergency medical coverage with unlimited or very high medical evacuation coverage. Third, comprehensive trip cancellation with cancel for any reason options. Fourth, real baggage coverage with at least $2,000 total and per item limits of $300 to $500. Fifth, 24/7 assistance services with real people available around the clock. Red flags to watch for. If it's free or included, be suspicious. Policy document only a few pages long, no clear information about coverage limits. Can't easily speak to a real person. The cost of real protection. A comprehensive policy for seniors costs 5 to 10% of your total trip cost. So a $10,000 trip might cost $500 to $1,000 for good insurance. That sounds like a lot. But would you rather pay $800 for real insurance or risk paying $200,000 if something goes wrong? What to do right now? If you have a trip coming up, pull out whatever insurance information you have, whether it's from your credit card, your booking confirmation, wherever. Read it. Actually, read it. Every page. Look specifically for pre-existing condition exclusions, medical coverage limits, evacuation coverage, activity exclusions, trip cancellation terms, and baggage coverage limits. If the coverage seems inadequate, start shopping for a real policy. Don't wait. Most travel insurance policies have time-sensitive benefits. The sooner you buy, the better your coverage. Look, I'm not trying to scare you out of traveling. Travel is amazing, especially in your senior years when you finally have the time to really explore and enjoy it. But you need to be smart about it. Don't be one of those people who learns this lesson the hard way. Invest in real travel insurance. Yes, it costs money, but it's worth every penny for the peace of mind and the actual protection it provides. Now, here's what most travelers over 50 don't realize. Getting proper insurance is just one piece of the puzzle. There are 15 other travel hacks that could save you thousands and make your trips dramatically smoother. So, watch this next video where I reveal all 15 travel hacks every passenger over 50 should know in 2026, from free upgrades to hidden senior discounts nobody advertises. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's next.